Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday Squad Ops event. I am your commentator for this evening's Shattered Ritual, joined by Bikar. How's it going, Bikar?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Looking forward to this op.
And it should be an amazing op. This is Operation Cloudfire. This is a brand new op, and it's on the very first time we've used the Squad Ops mod since the latest update. So we should be in for some really neat things, guys, because if you can already see, it's foggy and it's on Yeho Rivka, and it just gets worse the further and further you get, or the closer and closer you get towards the militia. So we're in for some great infantry action, and it should be really exciting. So we're going to quickly go over commands, and then we'll probably go into the platoon brief for the Russians, because it looks like they're about to go ahead and start their brief. So for commands for the Russians, we've got Stormfront with his squad leads HML, Dwarf, Lawn Darts, and wow, who's his last one? 1, 2, 3. Okay, he's got 3. Oh, he had somebody disconnect. I think that's what happened. We'll wait for him to come back. And for his militia, we have Command Silent with squad leads Dashby, Kirkley, Atomic, and Shughart. So should be some exciting things from them, and looks like we're about to go into the brief.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight on our Wednesday night op. Glad you all could be here. So tonight we have stumbled across a militia encampment. We sent out a scout squad. As you notice, we don't have a squad 4 tonight. So squad 4, we kind of sent them out to scout, and they didn't return. So tonight we're going to be operating with 3 squads, a little bit undermanned, but we'll make it do. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get on platoon line formation. Dorf is going to be map border security on the green marker, and we're going to have lawn in the middle, providing our strong core, and then we're going to have HML providing eyes for any flankers that may come around us from the the east side. So then we're going to move on platoon line after we've gotten set over there. We're going to move on platoon line. Communication is key. We're not going to be able to see you, so it's going to be a little bit hectic, but keep up visual range of each other. Make sure you're bounding by fire team. So that means your Alpha fire team moves up, then covers while your Bravo fire team moves past them. Make sure that you're using this so that I don't see a whole squad go down in one instant. If you are not in local range of anyone and not in visual range of anyone, then what I want you to do is I want you to push on whatever FOB location I have been calling out, or your squad leaders have been calling out, or just push towards wherever the contact was. No sense in just sitting around when there's probably no one else left. So key here is aggression and communication. So if you get shot at from somewhere, call it out, let us know so that we can centralize our plans on that location. Simple plan, ROE is fire on sight. I mean, they're going to be shooting at you already, so please shoot back. And yeah, have a great game, guys. Any questions?
I do have one.
Yep, go ahead, Vindication.
What ended up happening in regards to the rocket trucks?
They are not going to have any rocket technicals due to the fact that Squad 4 managed to blow it up. So, Aethel, go ahead.
I had the same question then, Vindication.
Yep, so they're not going to have any rocket trucks to bother us with.
Alright, gentlemen, if you look at your maps, you'll see some red cross bones with skulls. So the enemy can set up anywhere in Alpha 4, Bravo 4, heading straight down to Alpha 9, Bravo 9, and also the Charlie 5 grid. Alright, so that's where we're expecting contact. Alright, so when we get over to where we're going to deploy from, it's battle comms. Alright, we're going to be walking in some serious mist. Where we are right now is bright daylight compared to where we're going to be. Alright, so your ears and your communication with everyone else is vital.
Alright, that's it. We're going to go ahead and break it out and get set for live. Yeah, what's up?
Icon, don't do that shit in brief.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll get set for live.
Why is it so hard to see people's names? Damn it!
So one of the major points that Launderts had brought up right towards the end is how thick the fog gets, and especially the closer you get to the militia spawn. And if you look at it, this is the brightest part of the map, like by far. As we get closer, and as you get into these these valleys and things like that, the fog gets insanely thick. Like it's almost ridiculous. You can't see more than like 10, 15 feet. It almost blacks out the map. So we're going to be low on the ground for a lot of you, and we're going to have these outlines on the entire time. But you just got to remember that they don't have these outlines. They can't see anything near as well as you can. So it's just going to be basically follow those tracers back and hope you can hit them, essentially. So it should be for some good, nice, close CQB in the woods kind of action. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, this is the set gamma that we prescribe, and this is what everyone else is playing with right now. As far as the brightness of the screen and the fog and how intense it is. Fog is something nice and new, thanks to our the mod that we use for running One Life events.
All done by one of our mod devs, Best Pony. For those of you who don't know, he's done a lot of work, and I believe like 90% of the work on the mod. And he's done a great job with it, and it's just going to continue to be updated and revamped the more we do it. Another interesting feature from the mod is we've added our fire team lead rollback, and if you look, all of the only people on the map you see are squad leads, medics, and your fire team leads. So any of these basic rifleman kits and these specialty kits, you cannot be spotted you can't see them on the map. So you really have to rely on following your squad lead, following your fire team lead, and staying within local. And it's just going to get even worse as they get into the fog. So it should be pretty exciting. Yeah, commentators for the evening is me, Shattered Ritual, and B-Car.
Yep, and the other thing that, thanks to the rules of the op, there's a couple different ways that Russia can attack these this area where militia have their FOB set up. This time, Russia have chosen to do the infantry option, which grants 2 MG to the entire Russian platoon.
We'll see how they decide to utilize those MGs. If they had chosen the other option, which would have been the mechanized option, instead of those 2 MGs, they would have gotten an MTLB.
Yep.
Personally, I like the option, the infantry option, where you get the 2 MTLBs, because you can be a little sneakier with them, and like you're not going to be heard from 2 kilometers away with that MTLB. But the argument can be made that the MTLB could be used. What is your opinion on that, Bika? Which option would you have chosen?
I mean, given the visibility on the map, I like the MTLB pick, and I'll tell you why. I think it's going to be difficult to get your guys in there, especially if militia play it smart and they got some scout. I think that you could use the MTLB as a distraction a lot easier. Maybe carry your guys all the way to the southern end of the zone instead of attacking from the north, which is pretty common. Basically because it's, if mechanized option starts at Russia main, which is all the way across the map, and you're also going to be able to hear the MTLB, so that's another giveaway. But you can feint which direction you're attacking from by sending the MTLB in another direction, maybe with like a light patrol with it.
And we are live.
As we go live here. And then maybe send the rest of your infantry force very, very sneaky, like do the sneaky beaky.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Yeah, that would the two-pronged attack. I like the idea. It's just so hard to coordinate that, I feel.
Yeah.
And with the MGs, you can keep them with your platoon a little bit, and maybe it'll work out. But I definitely can see the point of being able to do something sneaky with the MTOB on one flank. With the
I definitely think it's very coordination heavy, but I think it has massive potential to pay off really well for Russia.
What happens if you TK someone, Superboy? Well, accidents do happen, and we do have an event admin on each team to just sort of fly around and make sure. So accidents do happen, and they can sort of read that situation. If it's an accident, it's an accident, and that's okay. But if you intentionally TK somebody, we do have event admins on standby watching everything, and it's an immediate ban. So you don't have to worry about any kind of TKs, intentional TKs. I mean, if you die next to a friendly who's holding a grenade, it's very unfortunate, but things like that do happen. Is there sniper teams of 10 people? There are no sniper teams. We actually, we don't have any kind of, we don't allow any kind of optics in most of our ops. Very few ops, mainly in like our campaign and things like that. We may make an exception and have an optic, but it's not fun to be, sniped from 100, 150 meters away and have no way to retaliate. And we found that the ops flow a little bit better without optics.
Communication is here.
Yeah, for the most part, you may see some, you may see red dots or cobras or the heads up sort of 1x magnification on these rifles that you'll see in the game, but yet you won't see any super, magnification like you would get in a pub server. Yeah, I think this helps keep combat interesting. Keeps it pretty close too, and obviously it's going to be super close on a map like this because look, your maximum you can't see further than maybe like 100 150 meters tops.
Yeah, and it just gets worse the closer you get.
Yeah, so your engagement distance is already down to nothing basically compared to typical op. You probably got on any given point you probably have sight lines of somewhere up to 400 or 500 meters. But here, because of the fog, it's quite a different story.
Yeah, I love fog on maps. Like one of my favorite ops is Mistwalker, which is on Gordok, the infantry Gordok lair, and it's a foggy map, straight infantry versus infantry, no vehicles, not even any explosives, and it's always a blast because what it comes down to is your troop movement and your positioning. And as we look, like we've got a column formation, we got a line. That's like a tactical blob over there, but. Whose squad is this? Led by Dwarf. He's got a really good stagger column going, and he's moving in depth blade. He's got a pretty good movement going on.
Yeah, you can just see like visibility has now dropped to within 30-40 meters here tops. Yeah. This is about, if you're looking at my camera, this is about eye level. These guys are prone. They're trying to hide in the grass because, I mean, they could be walking up on people they don't know. Obviously, the distance is they're not quite at the operational area yet.
I think the fog is my greatest achievement. Well, Best Pony is in our chat, guys. So if you want to yell at him about anything of the mod, he is there for you to yell at. We'll see if he answers back. But he enjoys the fog, and I do like the fog on this. And Beaker was actually telling me how the fog works. And the reason it gets thicker the lower the ground is just because that's how it works. The lower the ground is, the thicker the fog. And he said it was like some down and dirty kind of way of doing it. And wow, it gets so hard to see things. Like we're gonna have to be right behind.
The elevation. We have literally like gone down maybe 5 meters in elevation, and the view distance because of the fog is now limited to literally 20 meters.
It's just so thick. Best Pony did not make the map. This is the Yeho Rivka map. He just added the fog, I believe is what he did. And maybe changed the time of day.
I can't tell. Yeah.
I like the idea of the fog, but it's far too strong. Squizzo, in here, yeah, the fog may be a little too much.
Right here, his squad leader is not that far away. I'm going to turn off the outlines. And then, yep, there's sort of an icon in the way because of how squad is right now. But look, you can't see that there's another fire team in the distance over there. You can't see them at all unless you mouse over them. And that's only because we're observing on the same team as the Russians are right now. There are 4 people on the other side of that fog line. That's not that far away. Like we're talking about. Okay, there's 4 people over there. Yeah, well, they are 30, 40 meters away.
Meters and you'll be fine.
You cannot see them.
Okay, remind your guys
So
to stay alert.
the
I hear a lot of
Russians are
chatter
almost
right now.
in position. I'd say
they're just gonna
Squad 2
immediately
has reached
appear
the
out of
edge
the
of the
fog.
map. Squad 1 in the center
needs
with
to be on
Squad
the
3 on the right flank. It looks like they're getting ready to push south. They've got about, what is that, about a kilometer to their objective, or about a kilometer to the street, and then another 300 meters to their objective. So we've probably got another 5-ish, 6-ish minutes of maneuver before we're going to see any action.
Yep, the entire platoon is pretty much lined up. I'm over here with HML's squad. He's got them all in a nice line, and they're all facing the general south direction.
Yeah, there's a nice platoon line, and without the, you're so high up you can't see the ground, but they've got a nice line formation ready to push south, and they've got, it looks like they've got about a fire team in reserve to sort of plug any gaps that they have, almost ready to push south.
I think their command's going to give them the order here shortly to do it. I think there's just... Okay.
This game based on Russians versus militia or something? Superboy, this game has several factions. Right now, it is Russian versus militia, but they've also added they have an insurgent faction. They've got the U.S. faction. They just added the British faction, and I don't know if they plan on adding any more than that. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those are going to be the main factions for the time being, while they add in all these extra things that they've been wanting to add in, like the main battle tanks and helicopters and these heavier assets.
Yeah, a little bit.
Southwest.
Fucking go now.
And we're just waiting. Russia's getting their ducks in a row.
All right, guys, let's start.
And
the
here's the command.
Let's move.
They're going to bound by fire
All right,
teams
we're starting our
forward.
move.
If I remember the...
Walking.
Oh,
do
no,
not sprint.
they're all moving. I think eventually, once they get to the
Call
AO,
out any
they're
contact
going
that occurs.
to bound by fire teams through in variations of 20, 30 meters or so.
Command did give the order to bound. I just don't think the squad leads relayed that order effectively, because yeah, see, he's just now saying bound by fire teams. He wants there to be proper bounding all the way down the line. Right now, fortunately there are no scouts for them to be spotted, but I do like the vigilance that he has and making sure it's proper maneuvering, and he's not going to get caught out in the open, because a lot of this maneuvering down to the road is going to be out in the open. Thick fog, but definitely out in the open.
Yep, no real trees to hide behind. Maybe some rocks when you get over closer to where militia have their setup, but even then, I doubt it highly.
Speaking of militia, while they're bounding, let's go check out what militia has planned for them, because they're so far away that they actually don't render on the map. So we actually have to get a little bit closer. And they have a pretty solid spread on the points on their actual objective.
Yep.
They've got Squad 2 north of the objective, sort of watching the road. They've got Squad 3 led by Kirkley southeast. They've got Squad 1 watching the hill to the southwest. The only kind of forward element they have is Squad 4, who has actually got a pretty good sized squad, about 6 people, closest to the road on the north, and they're probably going to be the element that comes into contact initially against the Russians. But I think we've still got a couple minutes.
Definitely. And there was a misfire on Russia's side. Of course, they're only, 1,400 meters away from contact right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think they heard it, because I didn't hear it over here, and I'm sitting above the most northern element, so I don't think they know, but everybody's got to be on edge right now. This is the fog definitely adds to the atmosphere of the op, and everybody's going to be on their toes. Like, I know if I was like these people in these bushes waiting for the Russians to come up, my face would be 2 inches from the screen watching for any kind of movement ever.
Just pause while I get my elements around this knoll in front of us myself.
They're not going to make contact until tomorrow. They're all probably terrified to move too fast. That's right, Terax. The worst thing is to sort of maneuver and lay down some suppressor fire so your guys can get out. Your whole squad is stuck. So we've been really preaching to our squad leads. You gotta have the proper bounding. You don't want your squad to get cut down for no reason. You want to have a reason to everything you do.
between us and SL?
Yeah, we went like behind the open.
Stream is going offline. I don't think the stream is going offline. You might want to refresh here.
Giant open field. Watching out to the north, northeast.
Squad Ops tactics and training need to teach trigger discipline. Keep your trigger finger on the side of your mouse until contact is made.
You want the or you want the
that's
a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to argue that that is a bad idea. Like me personally,
some people,
like my mouse is
I mean, some people have suggested to me, hey, why don't they add a safety? And my reaction to them is no. Because the people that have problems not keeping their finger off the mouse are going to have problems, wondering which key turns the safety off on their weapon, in my opinion.
I definitely would have trouble remembering. Like, it would be the thing, like, do I have my safety on? And then you click to see if you have your safety on, and then you don't, and you fire kind of situation. I feel that's this.
It'd be like if in every take game ever, you had to turn the master on key to be able to fire the cannon. You don't have to. No. The only go play BCS or DCS. Go play DCS if you want that super level of craziness. But these games, you gotta be able to reasonably get into the action.
Yes,
and by reasonably, not rewriting how to play FPS games is a pretty good start. Granted, there's quite a bit to learn in Squad.
That's another ND, I believe.
I heard that one. I heard that one from the middle front line here with Squad 4.
I'll catch him up.
All right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Was that a Russian MD?
Yeah, that was definitely a Russian ND. What if a team kamikaze? I don't think any team is going to want to kamikaze Superboy. All of our squad commands are squad ops staff, and all of our squad ops and all of our squad leaders are squad ops staff or our squad ops regulars. So they take the game relatively seriously, and they definitely want to win, and they're not just going to throw anybody's life away for no reason. They're going to try their best to try and make a good op for everybody. And we do not play morning. How's it going, Duluth? Yes, it is Shadowed and B-Car today as your commentators.
Do you see anything over there?
Negative. Alpha's in a great position in the ravine to your southeast, and my Bravo element is just pushing up to get level with that.
Copy that.
Yeah, this is for those of you who don't know, this is a Squad Ops One Life event. So all these people, once they go down, they are down. Your medic can heal you, but once you are down with the little electric symbol above your head, you cannot be revived. So you do your best to stay alive and make sure your life means something for completing these ops.
Yep. It's on a strategy level, yeah, you wanna take it nice and slow, but at a certain point, you need to get aggressive. And if there's one thing that ops sometimes lack, it's especially newer players learn this over time. There's a time to be slow and a time to be quick. And knowing when to pull the trigger, shift gear, and go into high speed is it's the mark of a nice veteran of these operations and a good player.
Roger, command. One is holding.
Come on.
They're moving just a little too slowly for my liking. I'd like these bounds to be a little bit wider. I understand why they're so close, just because the vision is lacking, and they're a little afraid.
Yeah,
but I definitely like to see these bounds. Yeah, about 25, 50 meters between them, rather than they're going like 10, 15 at a time.
Yeah, even now, command is telling them to get back in line. Structure is great. I think at a certain point. Yeah, I think they're bounding to a line position and they're moving at a platoon level, which could be interesting when when one squad runs into contact here in a little bit and the other ones don't. Plus, you've also got to think, Mill, I think they have some scouts. There's definitely a couple of, I want to say there's definitely a couple IEDs out here, or maybe a mine on the road, just in case. Let me check this. I think there's a mine on the road, which you can barely see right in the middle of the road. Right on that yellow line, there's a red dot. That red dot is an AT mine,
Alright, squad 1, you all set?
And you can barely tell,
Lawn.
but in this fog, you might not really see if you're moving this fast or so.
Alright, let's rock and roll.
And then the other thing we have on the ground,
Remember to keep bounding.
this may be an IED, because looks a little weird. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
If you step on a mine, will you die? Superboy, no. The mines are anti-tank mines or anti-vehicle mines. So if a person steps on it, no, you won't get blown up. But if they decide to blow an IED, which is something that you have to trigger with the phone, which BCAR is looking for now, that can kill infantry.
Yeah, there's no AP trip mines or anything like that in the game right now. If you run over a vehicle mine, it blows up. Yeah, it's pretty much doomed for your vehicle.
Alpha's holding here.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the problem with the anti-personnel mines right now, I think Pony was working on it, is once you set it down, it blows up because you're a person next to the mine, and they're still trying to work out like a trigger thing for that, so that way, you know, the person setting down the mine doesn't blow up on his own mine. So we may see one modded in. OWI may put one in themselves, but for now, no anti-personnel mines.
Okay,
we're surrounded by fire team.
Real quick. Or this could be an ID too. You know, they're pretty sneaky.
Yeah, and the militia do get 2 scouts. Yes, they get 2 scouts. They have 2 mines and 2 IEDs for the militia team. So we'll see what they decide to do. I only see those 2 on the map, 2 skulls on the map. So they've got 2 in reserve somewhere.
Yep, they still have they still have a mine and an IED in reserve. You see the IED on my screen right here. It's in this bush.
And that's generally how they'll play with the IEDs. They'll put it on their current position, and then they'll engage, fall back off the position, drawing the Russians into to sort of take up the position that they had abandoned, and then they're going to blow it.
Especially if they're drawing the Russians into their old position. I mean, that's just, you know, it's one of those things you don't really think about, because if you're Russia attacking Mill, you're running towards contact. You want to chase these guys down because you don't want them to regroup. But, you know, you got to be careful for the instances where if you run into, you know, if you know the enemy might have scouts, you might be running into a trap.
We sure they're not over there.
In the form of IEDs.
Copy that.
Where's the map? We have a giant.
So, for those of you who don't know, this is Operation Cloudfire. The objective of this operation is the Russians are attacking the FOB placed down at A8 this time. I think there's a wide area that the militia can sort of camp out in. The Russian or the militia command chose to set down at A8, and yeah, that's the objective. The Russians are trying to attack the militia in this position. Time to contact Milland is probably, we're looking at probably another 2-ish minutes before contact.
Yes, we're all see you.
Maybe more. I don't think so.
I think a little bit more. They're still about 900 meters from the enemy position, and I think there was a mill ND just then.
Yeah, they're playing it really safe for this fog.
Now,
the closer and closer we get to the objective, this fog is just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, now if maybe I'm missing something. I could be missing an entire squad here, and I think I am. I was going to say, because for some reason, an entire squad is missing in the middle of this formation. My outlines are just being funny. Oh, never mind. There's still a considerable gap here between the Russians' left flank and the center of their line. About probably about 100 meters plus between squads here, whereas the rest of these squads seem to be joined at the hip.
In the current formation, we're pushing on.
Shots? Shots fired. That?
Hold on, I just saw a graphical glitch.
I think someone opened fire on what they perceived to be an enemy, but turned out not to be.
Alright, so what
was that? Out to the west. What was that?
That was panic fire.
Okay, he thought he saw somebody hiding in a bush.
I saw something move in a bush. Assumed it was an enemy and shot at it just in case.
Yeah. The longer that this operation goes, the more tense the Russians are gonna get because they're getting closer and closer to the militia, and the militia just has to sit there and wait. The Russians are the ones who are gonna have to walk into the contact, and with how thick the fog is, like it's almost going to be like 10-15 meters before they get to before they even get to see anything.
Make sure we don't walk.
And also, they've been in the suspected fob area for about 400 meters now, and they still have a kilometer, maybe a kilometer and 200 meters left to go.
Yeah.
Before they clear out the whole area. Yeah, they got 1,200 meters left to search, and the tension is going to continue to mount. Oh, and there's a shift in strategy.
This is round one. I missed the name. I'm sorry, somebody on YouTube, but this is round one of Operation Cloudfire. Man, this fog is messing with people's heads. It really is. People are just gonna start shoot like they. Picard brought it up. They've been in the area long enough now that they could run up on militia at any moment.
Yeah, and these guys in the plane here, they have 20 meters of visibility tops, 20-30 meters of visibility tops, and they're shifted their tactics a little bit. They're going to be, one element is moving, the western element is moving out a little bit further than the rest of the line, and I think what the command wants to do is stagger the line a little bit so they come up on the hill where the road is at the same time.
Keep moving, take it nice and slow.
Yep. Command, this one we are sliding in a southwesterly direction to comply with your last order.
Focus on our
Command, we're gonna hold.
There's still quite a distance for the Russians to cover still, but they've maintained their line formation for a majority of this movement, and I can really respect the movement Stormfront's having these go to. It is
tremendous discipline for them to line this long.
It definitely takes a lot of discipline to maintain this and not get too angsty and just say, all right, guys, everybody move at your own pace. He definitely doesn't want anybody to. He wants to play this right and not lose anybody for any unnecessary reasons.
My western is up close and personal.
Yeah, they're shooting at things they don't see.
It's another Russian perceived.
Out again.
Somebody shot Kennett. I think Dwarf shot Kennett. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ban Dwarf. Alright, let's move online.
Yeah, Dwarf seen thing. This is the second time that the squad lead 2 has seen something that wasn't there, and he just shot a friendly.
He's still trying to bandage you. This could be a problem.
Super what Kennett?
No,
not Kennett.
This is the Russian team.
What if I was actually not enemy guy?
Yeah, he's just one of the participants in the on the Russian
Another
team
one
right now.
Oh.
The nerves are getting to people. People are laughing, but you can just hear the nerves in them. Like voices are starting to shake. They don't know what's going on.
They are wigging out. Now Kenan almost got commissaried by mistake, and this is Russia we're talking about here. That can happen. I wouldn't be surprised if the order not to retreat was given, and Stormfront goes full commissar mode.
Now, just at walking pace.
Moving crowd again, right?
Look at the movement. I like it.
Continue at crouch.
Like we're about 20 minutes into this op. No contact is had, but people are shooting like they're seeing things.
We're within 600 meters. The left flank is within 600 meters of the militia forward position.
I don't understand, why do squads have recruit kits in them, or my eyes just playing tricks on me? Your eyes are playing tricks on you, Squizoob. There are no recruit kits. You might be seeing our FTL kits. They have the little corporal symbol, and they're just riflemen, but they're riflemen that can show up on the map essentially. Avalanche saying contact fronts. There's no contact fronts. Well, I mean, technically there's contact front, but we're about 600 meters from it.
Yeah, they're guessing pretty hard at this point.
My Bravo fire team is engaging contact on the south.
Here we
HML's
are.
pretty confident that there is contact. Like he's reporting it.
He is trusting his fire team lead.
That's between you and myself.
Can you confirm? Negative, that's to the southeast.
I think it was one of Matt Bob's ARs here.
Yeah, it was Avalash is the one who ended up shooting. Avalash is the one who.
Let's continue moving online. Don't overexpose
Looks like we're gonna have to go investigate.
Let's try and figure out where they are.
I'm pretty sure in these ops, if you standard rifleman, you take a badger.
Right.
If you're standard rifleman, you just take the standard rifleman kit. The recruit kit only has 2 magazines and 1 bandage. We don't want to sort of handicap anybody like that. Last weekend, we actually had, last Saturday during Fish Up, we actually had somebody who took the recruit kits, where we had about 4 people who took the recruit kits, but that's because they were special. They were like a counter intel team, something like that.
There's a fucking right here. There's a razor in front of me.
They were behind enemy lines and out of direct contact with their team.
Yeah.
Which is the whole premise of that operation, to rescue them.
Those shots might have given them away. Thoughts, Picoria? Yeah, those shots definitely gave them away. Let's actually go. I'm going to zoom over to where the militia is. We'll see if they decide to divert any assets this way.
And even
if
it gave them away, I mean, what do you report if you're militia at that point? I heard someone north of me. I mean, yeah, you're going to hear someone north. Yeah, you're going to hear someone north of you. I mean, come on. They're all north of you. Or it's the longest column ever. But the only thing they could possibly get out of that fire right there was, maybe they're getting a little bit closer. It would be interesting to see if Mill shifted assets over, but it's not like they have a lot of assets. They just have people.
Superboy, is the guy speaking from E3 Fortnite broadcaster? None of us are an E3 Fortnite broadcaster. We appreciate it that you think our broadcasting is that great, and thank you. But none of us are professional.
No.
We volunteer for this, and if you like it, thank you. We definitely appreciate that.
Unless
cover us,
being identified as a Fortnite broadcaster is a meme now, in which case, touche.
Oh yeah, unless I'm gonna think of it as non-ironic, but yeah, you could be memeing this. But
I'm gonna think of it as ironic.
The guy from college just got here. What's happening in the operation? This is Operation Cloudfire. The guy from college. The mission objective is the Russian forces are tasked with clearing out a militia fob in the area of operation. I believe it starts at like A5 and goes all the way down to like A11, the green area. We'll actually bring up the map. And the militia have chosen their location at A826. And the Russians have been moving for about 25 minutes now, and they are just about to come into contact in the next couple. Wow, they're almost
getting pretty close now.
Yeah, they're getting pretty close. So we should see contact in the next couple minutes.
Yep, they got about maybe 150, 200 meters to go, and they've come up to the road now.
And we are using the Squad Ops mod, everybody. This is the Squad Ops mod. We did use it, but once the last update came, they had to sort of remake a lot of things just because of how, the next version generally breaks stuff. And one of the big points on this mod is people don't show, not everybody shows up on the map. It looks like there's not too many people, but the only people who show up on the map are squad leads, fire team leads, and medics. So basic riflemen and specialty kits will not show up on the map, and that sort of means you have to stay within local of your fire team. You have to rely on your fire team lead to relay a lot of the information about your position and whatnot, and it sort of just brings that next level of immersion to the game.
Matt Bob's fire team here on the east of the Russian formation, they're gonna get jumped here from the tree line.
It got Ethel, Avalash, Matt Bob, and Icon.
As soon as they close within fog distance, because they are going up, the elevation is increasing here, so the fog is a little bit less intense here. And of course, militia are all waiting for this. They're waiting to come exactly from this location. They might sneak a little bit to
Prison Mike is going to be the one who sees them.
Soon, guys. Keep you guys sharp.
Prison Mike is going to see them. HML is about to... Oh, contact seen. Tommy goes down. Dashby and Prison Mike are the only ones who are going to be able to spot. This is confirmed contact.
Contact southeast.
Copy that. Contacts came from the Charlie.
So they took out Tommy, and Dashby got hit. Bag of Joe is going to pull off immediately. Prison Mike is stuck. If he gets up and moves, he's just going to get jumped.
There's a squad lead in there. Someone's got their binocs out looking for contacts. I don't think Mill exactly know how close these guys are.
Yeah. They're spitting distance.
Up towards that contact, eliminate it, and
Dashby takes out Matt Bob.
Myself will continue online.
Copy that. Copy that.
We took one casualty from the squad.
Not gonna lie, if I was, I'd probably get more TKs than kills.
Yeah, the grenade got one of the militia SLs here. There's actually a guy within like 10 meters of HML right now. This is really
Prison
fun.
Mike.
He's gonna walk up on him. I think Prison Mike heard him. He's turned.
HML still has his binoculars.
Here he is. Yep.
HML goes down. Now there's a massive fire about to go start happening. Militia squad or Russian squad is getting online with each other. Only squad to sort of come into contact so far is squad 3. Squad 2 and 1 are about to cross the street and come into contact over there. And it looks like there actually is contact. I'm going to move car over here to this side.
Oh, and the rest of the Russian platoon is swept in.
They've set up in the trench. Let's clear this trench.
Lawn darts. Out of position, question mark?
Dwarf squad is coming into contact. Vindication goes down right off the bat. This is improper bounding right here. He had 4 guys immediately cross the street, and 2 guys almost immediately go down. Vindication is dead. Nova is hurt. Seared Cheese and Chaotic Clyde, only ones left over there. Binos on this map. I'm not going to say he deserved it, but to be fair, Terra X, I probably would have had my binoculars out still. Given even just that extra couple meters is useful, but unfortunately it just didn't pay out for him.
Looks like the center element of militia here, or Russia here, popped a smoke.
Smoke.
They popped smoke and they're falling back.
I feel like smoke in this fog would actually just give away your position more than anything.
I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Smokes works both ways. They give you concealment, but you know they let everyone else know you're maneuvering around that point, and to basically look everywhere but that, and then throw some bullets in there for good measure. We're here with Platoon. He's trying to get his binocs out to help. It looks like the eastern side of things is all taken care of, but there are plenty of Russian casualties here with this initial push.
Yeah, just the defender's advantage that the militia have of being able to sit in your area and wait for the Russians to come up on you is just so good for the
I don't believe
the militia. The Russians they have to cross the street and they have to get.
Yeah, we're pretty sure it's not.
Like it's just going to be really hard for the Russians at this point. They think they're already down. Yeah, 10 kills.
2, is there any way you can push that contact?
This game will be won by quality headphones as opposed to quality computer screens. What? I mean, if you're hearing somebody moving, you're probably you're too close already. I think it's going to be being able to follow traces back effectively.
I mean, if you hear someone moving around you and you're pretty sure it's enemy, you missed them. You're blind. You should have been looking in the right direction. And now that there's been contact, I mean, it's just even more the case. You got to be prepared for. You're pretty sure you have an idea where the enemy is coming from.
And they're coming into some patches that are of clear fog. We got Squad 1, Fulcrum Squad, sort of making a push, and it looks like they're the most furthest element south. And they're starting to deal with this forward militia element.
Ooh, looks like Mr. Moneyman grabs one from across this little ravine here. This is a nice place. They got an AR and another rifleman here. Russia might set up here. They might be able to pick out some more people moving.
Yeah, heavy tracers to our southwest, guys.
I know SOTT basic has to be completed before you can participate, but does SOTT need to be before vehicle? You can take our SOTT forces in any order you want, Fibbert. The only thing required is basic for up, so everything else is just supplemental, and they'll sort of give you preference whenever they ask for who wants kits and things like that.
Alpha, we're very
But basic is the only one required, but you can't take them in any order.
There's a bunch of smokes out here on the west flank.
Oh, Dubs takes out Scunyon. Scunyon was looking the wrong way, looking at Alpha Guido, and Rob.
We've got... Jive throws a rocket on the other side. I don't think he got anyone with it. Now they're throwing frags back into the Russian line here. A little bit away from Clyde. Bunch of blind fire here as they've set up 4 smokes, 5 smokes wide.
Contact to our northeast. Excuse me, not 1. This is 3.
Basic only takes about 45 minutes. 30 to 45 minutes.
Here's the opposite side of that. I mean, there's still all the smokes seem to have faded, except for a little bit ones on the east. And let's turn the outlines off. This is what everyone else is seeing right now. Well, I mean, they're right on the other side of, if you can see in the sort of the highest grass line on the horizon there. They're right behind that, and if only he could see, he would be popping them through the grass right now, but it's not really happening. There's 4 people left over here in Dorf's squad. They're prone, just throwing up wishes right now.
Dwarf Squad is actually, they've done a good job for the 4 of them. Them drawing the pressure of majority of the militia squad has allowed Stormfront to maneuver his Squad 1 and Squad 3 to the eastern flank, and they've actually almost got them on their east flank, and they can just start pushing down these valleys in this tree line to get a little bit closer as they move through. Can you fail basic? It's very hard to fail basic, some boy, but
like, yeah, you have to try really hard.
You have to try to fail basic. Basic is base. It takes you. Yeah, failing basic is just not following orders and just not paying attention at all. And then the event team, the SOT team will just kick you, and then you don't complete it. Fulcrum goes down. But it's just to get everybody on the same page. It's just general information. Some people will know it, some people don't. It's just to get everybody on the same page. That way, when you get into our operations, you sort of know basically what to do.
Dorf's got a squad pin, sort of anticipating they would be pushing through here.
And clear out these
Russia is at a big disadvantage because OWI removed all traces from militia. Is that true, Nasty Nate? I did not know that. I'm
pretty sure everyone, the only people that have tracers are the ARs and the squad leads, question mark? I may be wrong about the ARs. I'm pretty sure the squad leads are the only folks with tracers. But
it's bananas coming up on an OP here with Ricochet, It's Christy, and UJ Key. We'll see if he can get in the act. Oh, and immediately gets shot by Ricochet, man.
It seems to be some oopsie grenade throws.
Phospholluminescence. If squad lead goes down, who takes command of the squad? It generally goes down to the fire team leads. Each squad has a squad lead and 2 fire team leads. And after that, or after the squad lead goes down, he can pass command comms down to a fire team lead. After he goes down, passes it down to the last fire team lead. After that, squad lead role cannot be passed down anymore, and the regular riflemen in that squad have to hook up with another squad for orders.
Rot 44 here has the MG, and he's looking for tracers to shoot. A little bit of miscommunication here. He's going to find a little bit higher position to shoot from. rocket overshoots the entire mill position.
Rob tries to send a rocket, I should say, and yeah, it's really high. Tracer fire though, going on target. I love the tracer fire in the fog.
I
Look
think
at
they
that.
can see the sandbags. I think there's sandbags on either side of that tree.
Yeah, there are.
That's what they're using to search it in. Machine gun just spraying, trying to maybe get someone there. May have got someone. I think he might have. No, I'm wrong. I thought I saw an outline go limp.
Oh yeah, I think that was I forget his name, but he had gone down earlier. So this eastern flank is actually progressing relatively well. Dwarf squad on the north, still alive with his 4 guys, but they're not moving anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, the majority of mill are on higher ground, except for where their fob is, and we can take a look at that right here. They got they have their equipment that they're trying to safeguard here. They've got it wedged between, they got their radio, which they need to really save, and they're using the equipment as barricades because, as we heard in the Russian briefing, the rocket technicals, artillery ammo supplies have been sabotaged. So they're just dead weight because they don't even have ammo for those trucks. Or not ammo, fuel. That's what I meant to say.
Russians have now made it to some of these OPs. They've got a couple guys on some of the sandbags, and that might provide some necessary cover to lay some fire down into the militia team. I always like the end game where everybody's haggard and trying to link up with a few surviving teams and have to come up with a plan to win. Yeah, no. What really makes or breaks a team is when the commands are down and it's up to the fire teammates to take charge of the platoon, basically, or what's left of the platoon, and sort of make a plan and try and survive from that. Ooh, rocket goes down, hits Mr. Moneyman, fired by Thurman Merman. Just takes out Mr. Moneyman. Great shot by him.
They're pretty close to the radio. They might actually be able to hear it from where they're at, or maybe a little bit closer. But there's quite a few militia dead over here.
What are the casualties looking like?
Keep moving forward.
Russians have actually almost evened it out. The Russians have about 19 dead, and they've killed about 16 people. So they've evened it out. It was pretty one-sided there at the beginning. I think the militia were up about 9 kills, but as the Russians got their flank on the east, they slowly started to even it out.
There is a scout that is behind the Russian line. And you can tell he's a scout because he's got his binocs up, but it looks like he's looking through his AK. And he's got an AKS anyway, so he is repositioning here. You can also tell he's a scout because he's got the tracksuit and he doesn't have the RPG kit on his back.
I'm really impressed with how far the Russians are. And yeah, the Russians have had great movement. This has all come down to infantry movement at this point.
The Russian sweep was pretty effective. The western end got pretty stalled out, but it looks like they're making progress.
Manta Wrangler on their Russian or militia teams actually managed to get behind the Russian element.
Yep.
They are on. He's on the east.
He's right behind one of the remaining MGs for Russia, and he's got his gun out. He might. He's gonna solid snake this.
I want a knife kill from you. I want a knife kill from you, Manta Wrangler.
Oh no, here's him behind.
Oh.
And he skylines over the hill, and the Manta Wrangler gets one. He crawls back into the tree line here.
Rock 45, and then he's like a ghost in the shadows. He's gone.
So now, of course, Stormfront was not that far away from that engagement. Knows they're pretty close. Well, that was all because Rot turned around because he heard Manta crawl along the ground, and he skylined over the little ledge of the hill right when he
managed to fire a little bit. Just didn't have the aim.
All right, we have contact.
Kill anyone named Liberal Pundits, please. Unfortunately, we're not the ones doing the killing right now. We're just sort of commentating on the killing. But if we catch Liberal Pundit, we'll be able to tell. Is he alive? I can't actually tell. I think he's dead.
Yeah, this isn't like your This isn't your good old CS
we're
web
pretty much
server
surrounded by enemies.
that you can just like slay people off the bat. It takes a little bit more finesse here. Besides, we don't do that in these operations. The smoke goes out from Samrin over here on the eastern Russian flank, and oh man, Manta's moving. He's going to see Samrin here in a second. He's got a grenade. He's throwing a grenade over. It's got the distance, but
close.
It lands right in between. Oh, Samrin bleeds out.
Oh, yeah,
so
very
that
good.
definitely hurt him. I think Aethel got hit. He's bandaging.
Yeah, he definitely got hit on that. He's got a bandage. And the Russians have slowly gotten picked apart. Manta Wrangler's taken out 2 from the rear, and everybody else sort of just managed to go down in firefights. We've got Liberal Pundit is alive. Look at him go.
Yeah, Manta got a little. Manta takes out Aethel right there from behind. He gets almost cut up by his own teammates' fire, and he may still be.
So about UJP. 7 Russians left, and quite a healthy number of militia. I'd say over 10, just from looking at outlines.
Yeah.
So Russians have about 7 left, and the militia have about 11 left. Yeah, Russians are just getting a little chewed up as they try to move through, but they're closer to the objective, and this may be the opportunity they got. Rob takes out Lil Bump.
Yep.
Behind the truck.
It looks like they're on the objective area. They know where it is, and at this point, it comes down to can they clear the area? Pancakes tags a militiaman from the other side. And Storm is.
He was southwest.
Get in there.
And it looks like he's ordering one of his subordinates to hop on in. I think he wants to try to climb underneath the truck.
Get in there, dig out that
and
radio.
he's ordering him to dig the radio.
They got eyes on it.
This is
no one has direct line of sight on this.
Yeah, these 3 people are the only ones who can respond. Stormfront, UNSC Pancakes, and Rob, who's actually 1 shot from death. Liberal Pundit is on the west flank, and they've got about 3 to 4 guys remaining from Dwarf Squad, just out of the picture at this point, not able to cross the street or get anywhere closer. So we'll see.
When Rob starts digging, the militia are going to come running.
Please cover me.
Trying to.
There is one guy. There's one guy to their north.
Yep, we're taking down the radio currently.
And here comes the radio.
All right, we're working our way east.
Radio's getting dug. I don't think anybody's in position to even hear this. Atomic Peach is the closest person to it, and he's not looking the right way.
They're going to see the radio getting dug. I think someone's going to throw a grenade this way.
Mr. Sauce is starting to run back.
Just keep digging. Just keep
digging.
Kenneth team kills Jive Gorilla. Unfortunate.
Thank you for calming me down.
And the radio's down. So strategic win for Russia right here. Now they just got to mop up, which is still no easy task.
Watch out on it. They're around your area.
So is the radio down? What now?
Yeah. What's the Discord? Superboy, check us out, squadops.gg, and they have a link to our Discord on there. And just check out our README. It'll have most of the answers to almost all of your questions.
Oh, yeah.
And if you need, still have any more questions, just add our community team, and they will be able to help you out.
Liberal Pundit makes it to the center squad here. Stormfront. Yep, he sees the scout behind him.
Russians have completed their objective, but they're down to 4 people. Stormfront's taking, or Atomic Peach is taking shots at Stormfront.
That was north.
Stormfront hears him.
Oh, Pancakes kills him though.
He's down.
And he does a little physics bump.
We have 1 more guy at least.
Back once again, Pancakes goes down though.
Who took that shot? I think it was Jugs who took that shot. Grenade lands on Stormfront.
Now Liberal Pundit.
Leaves
Liberal Pundit on the same side with some mill right here.
So it's Peyton Q, Kenneth, Chaotic Clyde, and Liberal Pundit left for the Russians.
I think they see Liberal.
It's 4 to 6. Yeah, Liberal Pundit goes down. 3 to 6.
Yeah, that was Clay J there. standing up around a tree, and probably from his perspective, Liberal Pundit was pretty skyline there on the edge of the fog. Yeah, he's got it. He had to win.
So if the Russian team gets wiped out, do they lose the guy from college? Technically, the Russians have completed their objective, but if they, we always play to the last man. Generally is how we do it. We'll play all the way through, let everybody get some kills or deaths. But technically, the Russians have won. But I think what's the word for a Pyrrhic victory, where they can't continue on from there to push an advantage.
Yeah, you don't win unless you get to talk about it.
Yeah. This is down to Chaotic Clyde, Kennett over here on this flank. Oh, they're the only two left. Okay.
Yep, and they're just prone on in. And
not close together.
Clyde popped.
Yep, Jubbs takes out Chaotic Clyde. And that leaves Kennett. Last man left for the Russian against 5 militiamen. And Kennett's got bipod. And then
goes out.
Traces work both ways. Kennett goes down. They just followed the traces back in. We took down the radio. That means we won the. Yeah, Loudtech, you won the objective, but you had nobody left to talk about it. So that leaves 6 militia left after the end of that. So it was really close for the Russians. They almost managed to take out everybody, but they did complete their objective. So technically, both sides win. Militia won on kills. Russians got their objective. So great op. Lots of maneuvering for the beginning part, and then it was just straight action for the last half. So great job, command. We're going to go ahead and swap sides, so that way each team can play the other side. So the Russians can play militia, militia can play Russians. Is it mandatory to do SOTT basic before joining an op? Yes, Rafiki. You do need our SOTT basic to participate in our ops, except for the very first Wednesday of the month. The very first Wednesday of the month is an open op, but every op after that, we do require that you have our SOTT basic course. Check us out at squadops.gg. On our calendar, we have listed all of our basic trainings and all of our ops, so that way you can sign up for them. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, so that you guys stick around for round 2 of our Operation Cloudfire.
All right, gents, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today. It's Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we're suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of that is to keep their heads down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. All right, and during this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically within each, either whether it be buddy team or fire team, is there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Alright, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. And those are your basic formations that we utilize in squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for round 2 of Operation Cloudfire. So, it's a really exciting first round with a lot of like 15-meter engagement ranges, and right off the bat, we can see up here. That's because the west side of, the west side of the map is the lowest part of the map, so there's just naturally a lot of fog over there for them to work to sort of work their way through, and the Russians took the same infantry option that they had taken last time, so they're going to get 2 MGs, along with 2 automatic riflemen, 1 RPG, and 1 medic per squad, and then 2 machine guns per for the platoon. The militia assets will be 2 automatic riflemen, 1 RPG, and 1 medic per squad, and then 2 scouts for the platoon. So we'll see how they decide to use those. Use those assets. Can you play the national anthem? Unfortunately, no. We're not gonna play the national anthem. We're just gonna go ahead and see what the Russians have planned. I think they're about to start their brief. Let's go ahead and go over commands. I guess. So for the Russian side, this time we've got Command Silent with Squad Lead Shughart, Kirkley, Atomic Peach, and Dashby. For the militia side, we've got Command Stormfront with Squad Leads Silas, HML, Dorf, and Londarts. So great job on both sides. They managed their squads as effectively as they could, considering the lack of vision. And it turned into a very, very close match. I believe the militia only had about 6 people left at the end of their match, and it was close.
It was pretty close. It got a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, given how few Russians ended up. But, you know, they were able to take the middle point. And the squad on the far west held out a lot longer than I anticipated them to.
Oh, yeah. Dwarf squad managed to sort of pick them apart. And then they were actually the last people left alive, which was weird. But they first to come into contact, or I guess they were the first to come into major contact, and then they sort of held, and then they decided to push at the end when there was only about 3 of them left. We're going to go ahead and bring up the mission map to sort of give you an idea of what this op is. The mission objective is the Russians starting at G9 keypad. Since they chose the infantry option, they get to start a little further forward. They get to they have to assault a militia fob that is in the green area of operation, and they've chosen the B5? Yeah, it was B598 area, and they're going to sort of defend that area, which is essentially where Stormfront came in from last round. So he's probably familiar with the area, knows the terrain just a little bit, knows that it's pretty open for a while, and I think he's going to try and use that to his advantage, where having his guys lay in wait with his MG set up on sandbags or bipods, and they'll try and push in from or try and defend from all angles.
Yeah, that's good.
I think Silent's doing individual squad briefs.
Yeah, just sort of zooming from point to point. I think that's what he's doing.
Then we're going to all turn north, crouch walk up. We are not running.
Let's listen in with Peach and see what his plan is.
Don't run. We're going to take it nice and slow. It's going to be difficult to see them. They're going to be laying down. They're going to be in bushes. And we're just going to sweep south to north. It's that simple.
That way you can command us.
So
Any
we're
questions?
Gonna walk over a kilometer to get there?
I think so, yeah. We only have 1 transport.
Yeah, the way Silent likes to sort of roll with his sort of command style is to give his squad leads the plans and then let them sort of tell the remaining members what they need to do. And so it sort of allows everybody it allows their squad leads to give out the information that's necessary and hopefully explain it a little bit more to his squad members. So we're live at 1:45, live in about 1:40.
It's the Love Shack. It's a little known place where.
Are you guys all good? We're all good. Yeah, three's good. Copy that. We are good. Okay, we're good. Get the lines, like the outfit. Get the lines set up here.
Silent's not going to do any kind of platoon brief. He's just going to get his guys lined up, ready to go.
Jordan is lined for the road.
Squad 3, 4, then
And everyone's getting in.
Highly suggest that squad leads do not lead.
Words of
Everybody's
wisdom
moving out.
from Silent. Squad leads should not lead, and what he means is squad leads should not be in the front of their squads while they move, just because if the squad lead goes down, that's the leadership for your squad, or the main leadership for your squad down right off the bat, and that puts a lot of pressure on your fire team leads to sort of get in contact with command and get further orders. So as a squad lead, you're gonna live got pushed back about a minute and a half, and right off the and you don't want your squad lead to go down right off the bat. You want to sort of be able to lead your squad from the rear.
Here we go. Looks like platoon files in squads. So you can see they're all lined up nice behind each other. And looks like everyone's going to be in the line. I think they're going to do this until they get in position. They're going to shift the line into, or the file into a line and then move north. So basically the reverse of what happened on one.
Yeah, exactly. I think Sugarheart's going to be on the south flank for a majority of this, and then he'll probably either connect his file and move into the line, or he'll sort of, as they move north, he'll be there to plug any gaps that show up.
Delta Echo line? Delta Charlie, most likely. I doubt they're going to push off.
Oh no, Sugarheart's going to move his guys into the rear line. He was just positioned on the wrong road is all.
Ready.
Well, you know, if you can't start in the right way, everything just falls apart. And
Yep,
this
they're
guy's
going to move. And that's not even a stagger column. It's just a single column as they decide to move out. And I love the way this looks. It's gonna look really neat as they sort of sneak their way through the fog.
MG leading the formation.
That's another questionable move. I don't know if I want my MG at the front of the formation. You can't really fire that on the move effectively.
I don't think it really matters right now. They're setting up for their sweep.
That's true, but at the same point, you want to be ready. And how big is that area of operation? It goes all the way down to like the A9 area, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like 600 meters wide, and it goes for like 1,400 meters.
Yeah, this goes all the way down to the A10 keypad. A10 and B10 keypads, about maybe even a little bit into the C keypad.
Yeah, C5 is the only C keypad or C grid they're allowed to use.
Okay.
And so it sort of juts out at near the north end of the area. So
it's A4 or A5 through A10 and
it's
B5 through
9.
B10. Oh, 4 through 9. Okay.
Yep.
A and B4 through A and D9 or A and D9.
Yep, so that's 5 grids. So 5 times 3 is 15. So it's 1,500 meters from north to south that they have to cover in 600-meter width.
Math checks out. Look at this little column they've got.
Look at this convo line they got. This is like the worst parts of pre-op, but better.
They have a lot of ground to cover. That's right, Pixel. They've got quite a bit of ground to cover since they're starting on the south, and the militia have decided to set themselves up on the far north.
If we get to the road, we need to pause on the berm of the road. Every squad's gonna send one guy up, so we can see where in the line, if any, they're there on the road. Gotcha.
This is a great formation here, and of course, the lone guy out of formation, the only guy that matters, Silent.
He doesn't need to follow his own rules.
Rules are meant to be broken by him. His rules are meant to be broken by him.
So over on the militia side, let's go ahead and check out what they've got set up. They are set up in a defilade that runs west to east, and they're looking south. They're not even really worried about their northern flank. They have a couple guys looking north, but a majority of them are looking south. They've got squad 2 and 1 on the eastern flank, and they've pushed squads 4 out all the way to the western end of the map. And it looks like they're sort of going to be a reinforcement squad who's sort of watching it looks like they try to pick up some high ground, and they can't see anything. I think this is going to be very difficult for them to reinforce anybody. Foggy day, Pixel. Foggy day.
The fog is beginning as these guys cross the Charlie Delta line and move. Or they're getting closer to the Charlie Delta line. They're moving further east. Sorry, further west. I know how compass works. I know my directions.
Such a nice looking line. It's gonna probably be about the same length of time the first round had in time to contact. It's about 15-20 minutes before they managed to get into any kind of position to see any of the militia team.
Yeah, given their start position and where militia have set up this round, yeah, it sounds a good solid 10-15 is probably reasonable, depending on how cautious Russia decides to advance here. Of course, we don't know. They got the trans truck in the background.
So heading up here, CPS.
It'd be kind of funny if they just sent a team back to go to the trans truck and did the feint play, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Stopping print. What? You see something, or you just reached Charlie Delta? No, we reached Charlie Delta. Okay, we don't need to crouch walk yet until we get set up and keep walking normally.
So it looks like the general order is get the Charlie Delta, you crouch walk. So definitely will slow down the formation, but that's by design. The slower you move up, the more time you might have a chance to see something that you probably should shoot.
Yeah. I guess what's
this guy's name is Parzival, right off of Ready Player One.
Alright.
I just noticed that. Look at him go. We got CPS on the lead, wanting to take point. Come on, man, you're the MG. That's a valuable asset that they've got, and he can't. I don't think he should be in front.
You're making it yawn.
Even if they're almost in the area of operation.
Past 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think you just say you give one of your fire teams front of your formation, and you tell that guy, "Hey, look, put a rifleman in front."
Yeah, looks like Top Gun's trying to overtake him, but CPS really wants to take point.
You heard him. Let's go.
There he goes. Top Gun takes point. There we go. Way to fix the error.
Got a lead change. Lap number one.
Spacing out. I got a sprint.
Yep. Tom Peach is on leading this team or this squad.
Now it's getting super difficult to see. You can barely see 60 plus meters without the outlines on, and I'm keeping them off on my point of view just to let you all know how insane it is right now.
Shouldn't MG always be near the rear? I agree with you, Terror. Maybe not in the very, very back, but somewhere towards the middle rear, and is where he should be. So that way he can get set up with that bipod. Because once the MG is set up with the bipod, he is deadly. Straight up laser beam.
Yeah, I think you should keep your MG right behind the squad lead in the formation, and the squad lead's
near the squad lead is a good idea, just because they've got the binoculars.
I mean, if you really want to think about formation of a file.
Okay. Territory.
You want to keep your medic and your best asset with you in the middle. And I always try to move in the middle of my formation when I'm squad leading.
The snake wind as they go around the trees. Oh, it looks so nice. Very, very nice column. They've got good spacing in most places. A couple spots could be a little better with their spacing, but for the most part, I don't think your grenade's going to take out more than one or two people. Only person out of formation is Silent, but he doesn't follow the rules. He can be wherever he wants.
Silent's the rule breaker. He's the renegade. Which is obviously why Russian High Command has chosen him for this task.
Love the ant trails. Yes, ant trail looks great. And they're in the area of operation now. They cross that once they cross the BC line.
Squad lead, why are we in
They're getting ready to push north. I'd say once 2 gets towards the edge of the map.
It's a funny joke. Someone in Peach's squad asks him why we are in Seattle. It's a good fog joke, I gotta say.
This open field.
Oh, yeah.
We're going north a little bit, just off the top of the hill.
If anybody's got any complaints on this fog, just yell at Best Pony. He is the one, the creator of this this lair, and I think he did a great job on it. The fog is just a little bit too thick, but when you think about it, just because it wasn't intentional, because the majority of the map looks just fine. It's just because of how low this side of the map is. The fog gets just insanely thick.
It's just tremendous.
Without outlines, ant trail of soldiers passing by is creepy.
Damien, ask who that guy is in front of you.
It's the medic, Sir Blue Hood.
Oh, hey, now's the best time to assign buddy teams.
I blame Blue Hood.
Guys, we're almost there.
We're about 10 minutes in the op now. Let's get this this little detail out of the way.
Hey, shout out to you, my buddy. Hey, in case we take contact, you know what to do, right? You scream like a little girl.
Bun, man.
But don't forget your ABCs. You must scream like a little girl, accurately, briefly, and clearly.
I'm just gonna kill myself.
I literally sat inside and played video games all day. I don't understand what my problem is.
Look at the fog as the infantry disappears.
Oh.
The lead of the line is almost at the map border. They're in the middle of the A file on the map here.
30 meters to western border.
They're within sight of the border, the map border.
You can go slightly farther west.
Let's move up.
Yeah, you can.
Apparently, command comms suggesting you can go off the map.
Prepare to stop.
And once they hit that, the whole file is gonna stop moving forward.
Then the file turns into a line, and they're gonna start pushing north, start clearing the area.
And stop.
Oh, here we go. No, that was preemptive.
Okay.
Or no, they're gonna just consider it.
Pushing to you. Let's get everything. Let's fix the gaps real fast. While we have
And CPS is out of formation.
Make sure all your spacing is correct.
Shame on you.
Let me know when everyone's
You're
ready.
back in line.
Do you want us pushing to you or holding on the east?
He's just walking forward. He's going on. Look at this guy. He wants to take on all the militia himself.
Just stay behind.
That's CMG too.
And then.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, I got a PKP. Well, look at me, I'm fancy.
No, he's getting yelled at. He's like, oh shit, let me get back in line. Squad lead keeping him in check. There he goes. He gets back in his formations. Command telling everybody close up the gaps, start plugging holes, and start getting ready to move.
Nope, sorry. One is ready. Two.
Everyone now crouching.
Two is ready. Three. Three's good. What'd you say, three? Good. Four. Good to go.
Silent game. No go for lunch. For launch.
It's lunchtime. Bust out the MREs, boys. We're getting lunch right here before we go.
But the lower profile we can make, the harder.
Man, this would be the ideal place to do it.
But if they're in the open,
right before conduct.
obviously will be ready.
Gun Ho MG, dude. That's right, Pixel. CPS tried to get Gun Ho, but his squad lead reeled him back in. You don't want to lose an asset like that, especially their choices were either 2 MGs for the platoon or 1 MTLB for the platoon. Tough decision. Earlier, BCAR brought up some good points about bringing in the MTLB and doing a 2-pronged attack. But in my opinion, I would have also done the 2 MGs. But after seeing the first round and how ineffective those MGs were just because of the tracers being able to fall back so easily, I'm leaning more towards the MTLB and how easy that would have been to just sort of get up on into the action and be safe from the small arms fire, even if you did have to worry about the RPGs from the militia.
Hey, didn't Silence say something about squad leads not leading from the front?
He did. He did.
3 out of the, 3 of the squad leads are where in the formation?
Yeah, it's what it looks like. Atomic Peach is in the front. Silence in the
Sugar's
back.
in the front.
Kirkley's
Silence coming
in line. Yeah, Kirkley's in line with his guys, so he's got that going for him.
Kirkley,
Sugar and
just
Atomic
wants to
Peach.
meme. He wants to meme with his comrades a little bit more.
We'll see if Silent decides to reel his squad leads back in, and hopefully these guys don't go down to unnecessary reasons.
Let's see, how many NDs will we get between here and actual contact?
Well, I mean, is it an
put the
ND if they think they
4.
saw something? There was really only
technically not a negligent discharge in that case.
They after about 20 minutes in the op, they just started seeing shit, and they just started firing.
If it's a rocker or something.
Shikard, Binox out, leading the formation. He doesn't like this.
There's a couple bushes.
Little Bump cries out for Jesus. He wants everyone to say their prayers.
They're making good time. They're not bounding as slowly as militia or Russians did last round.
This was,
and I can respect that.
Yeah, I think this is part of like a literal command. Thou shalt crouch walk the entire way.
Yeah, everybody's crouch walking it as we get a little overhead shot of everybody. Can't see anything but the blue outlines as the majority of the platoon, in fact, all the platoon has reached the road at this point, even squad 4.
Oh, here we go. We're setting up on the road, I believe.
We can set up on the road to cross, and they're going to send about 4 scouts forward.
Where do you want them to move? Say again. Okay. Once you guys are all set on the road, squads 2, 3, 4, each send 1 rifleman across the road and have him hold on the other side. We want to see if they get shot or not.
Sound reasoning from Silent there. We want to see if they get shot or not.
Go forward. This is why in the pre-op brief, I don't know if it's been a while since I've listened to pre-op brief, but I hope they still call people expendables. This is why you're called an expendable.
Yep. Here we go. All squads sending 1 man forward. Play J, Ricochet man. Over here on the eastern side.
Only 2 to listen to orders. Where are the other 2 guys? There's 2 squad leads not listening. There he goes. Parsible goes across.
Yep.
Who else? I think Dashby didn't have to send anybody across, so they've only sent 3.
So far, no one has been shot.
2 across.
And at this point, they seem to be on the order of about 1,000 to 1,100 meters away from militia positions.
Brave men. I wonder if these guys volunteered or were voluntold, but they're moving.
Oh man, I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter.
I probably would have volunteered.
The neck has been stuck out. They have become the expendable.
Commendable, extendable, expendables. Say that 5 times fast.
No.
Everyone else back in line of 4.
I reject.
Do you want me to keep my riflemen out on point?
Small boys.
Oh, okay. A little deviation here. They're going to keep the scout in front of the platoon, probably about 50 plus meters here.
Yeah, I agree with that. Right now, Silent is not having anybody bound. So having at least a couple scouts forward to sort of come into contact before the entire line platoon comes into contact is going to benefit him, as it'll allow him to maneuver after contact rather than getting his entire line stuck.
Here they come to the fork in the road over here. The main highway on Urivka.
Superboy, live? Yes, we are live. This is live for round 2 of Operation Cloudfire. We are about 10 to 15 minutes into this match.
Before we get into this valley, I think we need to spread
live is at 1:44.
We're only covering the A sector. We don't have anything in the B sector.
So yeah, about 20 minutes into the
so
match.
Before we get into the valley, we need to spread a little bit more to the east.
Keep it stealthy. Keep it stealthy.
Well, it looks like the easternmost force is going to push out a little more to the east here.
They are starting to get a little clumped up.
Oh, they're only going up one file. They have two to worry about. They only really pushed up the 300 meters wide area. They have 600 meters to worry about.
Alright, I guess we gotta keep going, Josh.
How come I can't join the Discord? I'm not sure why you can't join the Discord, Superboy. Check out our website, squadops.gg, and there's a link. The link to the Discord should be there and good. As soon as you click on the Discord, the link should automatically link it to you. Like if you're using the client, it should automatically do it. And we just linked it there. We just dropped it in chat. So go ahead and try that.
Shuckart responsible for this eastern flank here. The Russian pushed.
He's not in the front anymore. Got to give that to him.
Well, yeah, barely. He's got his scout about 40 meters ahead of him, but he's still ahead of the rest of his platoon.
Okay. Let's keep moving north. Like I said, if you guys want to send one guy in, feel free to do so.
I think they might be moving along using this road as a boundary. Because I think they're going to spread more east using the road.
That was definitely their initial catching point, was to get to this road, and then from there they're going to spread out. Dashby squad falling behind. I don't know if this was ordered or not to fall behind and then plug any gaps, but it looks like they're starting to move. And that may be very, very well what Silent had told them to do, is just plug any holes you see as they get moving. Eerily quiet. Let's go see what the militia are up to as they get closer. We're about 900 meters from contact so far. They're getting closer.
Visual on the tree line to the north.
And they've got 3 squads, 1, 2, and 3 in the defilade that have the fob, and then they've got squad 4 on the hill on the west side of the map.
That's a pretty strong spot. That gives them a lot of options to reattack. To flank a Russian attack coming from the south, from the north. It sort of is. It could be the other way around. That squad could be the sacrifice play, while the rest of the militia platoon can reorient and shore up their defense. It's pretty smart to leave that little hole right there because it gives you a lot of room to move.
Yeah, and with the way that the Russians are moving, they could very well slip in between 3 and 4, and once the Russian platoon starts to move east, it leaves their rear wide open for a swing into.
I mean, the point one, if the squad on the west for militia doesn't get engaged in the initial gunfire and exchange when actual contact's been made here, for sure they're going to be jumping off that hill, going south and hooking around. I mean, why? Now Shuckart is seeing things.
They're about to get within audio range, so any of these now scary shots that they're seeing can definitely be heard. They have an element far forward, or when I say far forward, about 100 meters forward of the main militia platoon. And it's a fire team led by Orange, Lovtech, and Aethel. So we'll see who's. Yeah, Aethel is the fire team lead. And they're the element that's most far forward, and they're probably the people that are going to come into contact first, if they do.
Shuckart's moving tree to tree here. He's still trying to look for anything. He's got his gun pulled out here. So far, I haven't heard any NDs here on Russia. You know, it's not bad.
Superboy, can I do SOTT now? We don't actually have an SOTT right now. Check out the website, Superboy, squadops.gg, and on the calendar they have listed when our SOTT basic courses are.
Okay, these are going to be very effective here. Remind your guys that.
Yeah, and we actually have one set for tomorrow, apparently, an SOTT basic for tomorrow. And if you sign up on there, you should be able to participate if there is room. Just check. Saturday. Wait, ignore everything I said. I'm getting false information. Just check it out. Check out the basic training, SOTT basic training. They're held on Thursdays and Saturdays. False information. Sorry.
All the SOTTs
everything...
are available for the rest of the month. They're on the calendar.
Yeah.
Use the calendar. Love the calendar. You can sign up. That's your vector to sign up for anything that you want to play. But to play operations, aside from the first one of every month, on the first Wednesday of every month, you got to have the basic.
Will you be there? Unfortunately, Superboy, I will not be there. I am not an SOTT instructor. And neither will BCAR, I don't believe, unless he wants to take the course again.
I mean, I have done this before, and usually I have some free time. Usually, that's why I do it again. But sometimes I do it to not really to mess with the instructors, because the instructors are mostly cool. But
yeah,
I take it again if there's a free slot open, but I usually give that slot away to people that like show up and are like, "Oh, hey, I want to do
yeah, we really want to get new people through because we only have limited amounts of spots. So yeah, that's what it comes down to. And the fog is just getting thicker and thicker, and I think with the spot that a Stormfront has chosen is probably where the fog is the thickest, if not right here. It's like it's getting insanely hard to see. Like if we take off our outlines, the visibility is about 10-15 meters.
Shughart is poking his way to within about 300 meters of contact. And they're looking his way. Obviously, the... Uh-oh.
Yeah, you probably should, just for this Charlie 5 square, in case they're in Charlie 5.
In case they're in Charlie 5, we should spread out to the east. Well, goodbye, Shughart squad. They're going to have no support. They're just rolling. They're gonna sprint unilaterally a little bit to the east here. They're gonna sweep up Charlie 5. If they move to the BC line though and they cut straight up, they might have a chance to make a play for the radio objective. But even look at this position right here. Shughart is about on the same elevation level with most of the militia forces, and some of them are even lower. And the way that the fog works on this map is the lower you are, the foggier it gets.
Can I do SOTT vehicles? Yeah, can I do a vehicle SOTT? Yes, well, you can do our SOTT courses in any order you choose. The only one that is required for ops, though, is our basic course. And even if you have vehicle training, you need basic to be in the ops.
We're now much exclusively in B column right now.
We are about 300 meters away from contact. There's an element that's a little bit closer. The element fire team led by Aethel with Lobtech and Orange in tow. They're a little bit ahead, about 150, 200 meters away from contact, but we're getting there. We still got a few more minutes of maneuver.
Within 150 meters.
This fog is definitely a factor here because at this range, if there was no fog, you would 100% be able to see anybody walking up.
Absolutely. Minus, sun glare and things like that. We're within 100. Shughart is crouch walking his way into potentially getting shot here. Now we're within range. I think this guy sees him. Yeah.
Orange went prone, but I don't think he sees Shughart. He's looking towards Doc Daroba. Yeah, he sees Daroba, the medic.
Those guys are pretty clumped up over there on the right, or on the east side.
This is gonna be close.
Shughart's gonna.
You're gonna have to climb that
hill.
Yeah,
Orange is gonna take a shot. Orange misses. Orange misses his shots. Shughart takes out Orange.
Okay, let's wrap around.
Shughart throwing a grenade. Oh, that might actually get some people.
Oh, not far enough.
2 second up on the north.
I thought I hit one.
No. Orange goes down. Unfortunately, he fired first, but missed all of his shots. He landed one shot on Daroba, but fortunately, Daroba is a medic, leaving Aethel, Lobtech, and Route 44 most forward elements at this point.
Sugar pops
in a
smoke,
bind.
They're north U4?
and he's gonna mark. He's intending to mark where he thinks enemies are.
Shug, are they north of you?
Yeah, they are north of me.
Okay.
He calls out contact north.
And these engagement ranges, oh my god, someone on the west flank, squad 4 for the militia have come into contact, and 2 go down right off the bat, Chappie and 1 other. Oh, wow. Atomic Peach, squad 2 for the Russians, great engagement there, and that almost wipes out squad 4 on the west side of the map, leaving them pretty hurting for reinforcements.
You want 3 to keep moving north?
That's that flank that's been spotted at this point.
Yeah, I think they're falling back. Meanwhile, over here, Shukart's reestablished his line, and they're moving forward. They're going to push what remains of the fire team that was holding this hill. They're getting shot up from the side, though.
Yeah, Tracer's going out towards 3 from that smoke.
The smoke, you can actually see the smoke for like colored smoke is actually going to help mark troops, I believe, because you can see the smoke for quite a ways. For some reason, this colored smoke just cuts right through the fog. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I don't think it is.
It could be a symptom of the fog, but
And these engagement ranges, instead of being the normal about 100 meter, 200 meter engagement ranges, it's dropped down to like 20 to 50 meter engagements, and it's just insanely close.
Sure, squad adding more frags, adding more bullets into their front direction. They still keep getting.
I'm still alive. Keep pull north
I want to say they keep getting shot from their side, but that could actually be outgoing fire from Russians to the mill.
Get the fuck out of there.
And the Russians have managed to come out ahead in these initial engagements. They're up about 3 kills to 1, or 4 kills to 1 death. So they're coming out ahead. They just need to continue to watch their west flank, because after that initial engagement of two kills, they've still got the remainder of Silas's squad, Mr. Moneyman, Kahuna, and James, on their west. And I think they're ignoring them at this point. Yeah, they're starting to move northeast. And that could give Squad 4 for the militia the opening that they need.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to see him. Sugar is actually getting pretty close to some enemies. He's calling for a frag. He knows he hears someone close.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm going to die here.
So looks like LabTech goes down from grenades. He was the remainder of that squad led by Ethel.
Sugar heard him moving, and he called for a frag because he didn't have any left. Clay J had a frag, followed an order. LabTech dead.
Comes out with the kill. Great job. Great communication, great teamwork by Sugarheart squad.
Sugarheart squad continuing pushing up, and it looks like Mill are reorganizing here in a sec. They're going to push a fire team over towards the objective because
I think a majority of the contact is going to come on the east so far. I don't think Squad 4 for the militia is going to move just yet. Kirkley squad's about to come into contact.
More militia are repositioning here.
I'm just having my guys spray down bushes before we get to them.
Low bump fire team not looking the right way. They're in this ravine, but it don't look good.
They need to continue to look north.
Oh, and these guys have their own defilade too. Wow.
Okay, let's wait till 2 set.
These guys come up that hill, they're toast.
He rushed us so fast. Yeah, LabTech. As soon as they came into contact, they started to push very aggressively.
Low bump pushing straight towards enemy position.
Oh yeah, he's got guys on his left. Little Bump and Jubs may come into contact here with Icon and Alpha Guido.
There's audio contact now.
I think I got eyes on sandbags.
He sees sandbags, but
still not looking far enough left.
Is there within 10 meters? Now he's running.
Sandbags.
Oh, sandbags.
There he goes. He's looking left.
He goes prone.
Little Bump's looking left.
I think he sees him. Skylining. He's gonna go through He's gonna go through right here.
Yeah, he got Alpha Guido.
He's got one.
Pretty much north of 4.
They got him looking.
And Silence Platoon has actually managed to come into contact, or managed to engulf this element.
Frag goes far. Low bump Another frag goes off near him. Still not down. Low bump gets 3. No, that's you still got 2. I think Low Bump gets tagged there.
Low Bump, who was in Sugarheart's Squad 4, has now been charged with taking command. As Sugarheart goes down. Yeah, he's not in a good position. He's in contact and he's trying to give a contact report. Great job on him for stopping the firing and updating his platoon lead. That is very important information, especially because nobody can see anything. Oh, Rob goes down. Oh, Rob goes down to Route 44, who Rob walked in front of Route 44 right as Route started to shoot with his MG.
Yeah.
So I think that's more of Rob's fault. Yeah. I'd say that's a little bit more on Rob than Route. Route was just trying to lay down fire.
Over here. Who's this? Pancakes. Has seen the red mist and he wants more. He just holds down that fire button like he doesn't care. Little Bump is now within 20 meters of the radio, and you can definitely see the sandbags from here. He's gonna pig one. He's got one. Now they're gonna be looking through the sandbags to find him.
Silas's squad has actually started to move. That squad that was on the west, Squad 4 for the militia, started moving east. The thing is, they're a little bit further behind. I'd like to have seen this call happen a little bit sooner, and then start to push in. Now they're a little worried, and they're not even looking. They're not even pushing far enough north. They need to push north and then east. Right now they're just pushing straight east.
Well, you don't have time.
It seems like there's a clearing with significantly more sandbags due east to me in the
I saw them close.
574 could be radio.
And Silent has his platoon in the shit at this point, almost completely surrounding the militia element.
Low Bump on 4 kills here. He's just pinging these guys through the sandbags, fire portholes.
Low Bump should be given all the grenades.
And if he had one right now, I bet you he'd be throwing it.
Right? Just hand me your grenades. Take grenades from everybody else and start tossing them. But that's not the point of this. He should have some of his friendlies up there.
Before you got any south of you on the
Daruba taking out another one in their sandbags. Russia getting themselves a considerable foothold here near the FOB radio.
Yeah, they are in the definitely. I think militia's problem was they didn't have enough scouts out after Athel's fire team went down. That initial 4 guys that assaulted Sugarheart's squad. After that fire team went down, they lost all kinds of forward eyes, and it just sort of fell apart from there. Now these guys are stuck in the deflate, not able to move out, not able to get any kind of information, and they're slowly getting surrounded.
Alright, guys.
I think the last guy here.
Yeah, it's pretty much clear for the most part down this red up until
like half playing dead, half trying to throw
4 and 2.
No, grenades coming in now.
Silas's squad is getting in range. Silas's squad is almost. Oh no, they looked closer. They're still about 75 meters out. Oh, not even about 30 meters out.
Lawn darts running in like a boss. He is running straight towards Little Bump.
Oh, he goes prone. Not gonna have any of it.
Lawn darts the master decides that maybe it's not the idea.
I think it's at the point where Russians need to watch their fire because they've got them almost completely surrounded, and the risk of friendly fire, especially in this fog, is just becoming greater and greater.
Low Bump ordering a frag rocket to be shot directly at the sandbag. Might click Vindication here. Let's see.
Oh, frag kills one, kills Revy B. Sir Blood goes down. SK Domega's hurt. Kahuna and Silas squad is finally getting in the action.
No!
Vindication goes down to 2 frag rockets. And I think there was a TK. I think someone got backblasted.
Silas's squad needs to start pushing if they want to make a difference.
Oh my gosh.
The militia has sort of started to even everything out.
There's a mill squad behind the main push here with Russia.
That's Silas's squad led by Kahuna and Mr. Moneyman.
Meanwhile, so many Russians right here next to the main fortification. Silas with a little TK there.
Buffy.
There's this little ravine that they're all sort of stuck around right here. And Londart's got the top of it covered, although he doesn't see
Killed one, there's also the
Escape
saw gunner still.
Omega.
Copy.
They're slowly starting to get close to the
Went down from the guy
radio,
behind that tree up there, 162.
Yeah.
and they're starting to take it down by proximity. Londart's finally goes down. I think Hannibal's on to pull the trigger. Yeah, Hannibal's on to pull the trigger.
You can get a nade.
And the radio's about clear.
There's still plenty of militia that could reattack this position. So once the radio starts getting dug, the militia's going to see it.
I don't know.
They're going to have a
over there.
I have audio radio.
Silas's squad is slowly pushing through. Mr. Moneyman, Silas, and James Range left on the far west. And they're slowly pushing through the ravine in their rear, and the
Russians
aren't paying attention. Oh, now they are. After low bump goes down. Low bump.
Frag.
Mr. Moneyman's house of frag. That takes out 3. Nope. Yeah, no, it did take out 3. Yeah, it took out 3. Clay J, low bump, and one other goes down.
Well, that was kind of funny. But yeah, they're all dead to that frag.
That guy died. The reason it popped up as suicide is because the guy died as he threw it, I think is what happened.
Wow.
And so
That's tremendous.
it didn't know who to give the kills to.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
Yeah, very brutal grenade.
Just like you don't win without being able to say that you did. You can't claim the kill.
Yeah, I think that's a product of the mod right there, unintentional byproduct of the mod. But that leaves Silas and James Range left from this platoon, or left from the squad that was on the west, and they've done work. They've come behind. They've got about 4 kills.
I'm right next to you.
Well, 7 kills because those 3 kills didn't count towards him. So they've done some work as they push through, and almost everybody who was on the radio is now dead. Silent is still alive.
Crispy and Quirkly pushing through to the radio. Crispy is now digging it down. Looks like it took some damage. Maybe the rockets that overshot.
It might have been a little bit of that might be proximity. Ooh, Kennett's on the flank.
And the radio's gone. Here comes the attack.
Silas goes down. He tried to push up and flank, leaving Fulcrum and James Range on the west. The remainder of the militia platoon on the east. And let's get a quick overhead view. Not going to be able to see much on terrain-wise, but we'll at least get to see where the outlines are. And it looks like...
That's great. Crispy's now redigging the fortifications that got blown up by the rocket.
I think about 9 Russian 9 people from the Russian platoon. They're the guys in blue, and about 4 or 5 militia, which are the guys in red. We're waiting for bodies to despawn so those outlines get out of the way, but those general numbers, the Russians are up just a few kills. Still could go any other way, anyway, just because the way this map is with all the fog. But the Russians have completed their objective.
I've got 3 effective.
James Range might pop Crispy here.
And then one blueberry.
Yep, I think he sees him. Yep, here comes the aim shot.
At least 4, maybe 5.
Bye, Crispy. Or not.
I don't think James Range sees him. He's looking like he does, but I don't think he can actually see him. Oh, yeah, no, he did.
Yeah, he was aiming down his sight for a little while.
He was just waiting for the perfect shot. I don't think he wanted to give away his position without being able to, like, he wanted to be 110% sure that he.
Yeah, you got to guarantee that kill, especially when you got the element of surprise. If you can't, oh, they're ordering a frag.
50 meters, 40 meters.
Yeah, within 50.
I'm gonna go ahead and confirm.
287 of the sandbags.
7 Russians and 3 militia. Yeah, 7 Russians and 3 militia
left. There's 4 militia.
4 militia? Oh, you're right. You're right. I did not see Fulcrum up there. So yeah, it's Fulcrum, James Range, Merrick, and Sam Mirren, with the rest rest of them Russians,
Wow.
including
What a
Silence.
shot.
So they've still got command up.
James Range, I think he spotted Quirkly through the porthole of the or the gun port of the sandbags there, and he tried to take a shot at him. That's pretty good.
Very sneaky shots. Very sneaky shots.
Meanwhile, Fulcrum is just biding this time.
Silent goes down. I'm not sure. I think it was from Fulcrum.
I'm gonna frag that tree line at 243.
Frag goes out towards James Range. Yep.
Ooh, nice frag.
And he gets instant gratification. That was a good frag. Ricochet's
Fulcrum
down
can
now.
see Hannibal and Parzival. We'll see if he managed, or he's in range to see Hannibal and Parzival. We'll see if he ends up taking the shots.
I think they're a little bit below him, and there's too much grass in the way
You're
still.
right. As I get down and low on this, he stands up. That just may give away his position, just being able to hear.
If he starts moving that direction, you could be done for. He might see some backpacks and stuff.
Direction you guys watching?
I'm watching.
Of course, when you reposition, you make a little bit of noise, but obviously, if you're, well, no, Hannibal steps up. If Fulcrum just takes a look to the right, and he goes prone again. He starts hearing movement. Yeah, you heard Percival starting to prone out there. Hannibal's still behind, so Hannibal may be able to get the follow up here, but Hannibal is sticking in his position. Parzival's going to check out his grenade toss and find that he won the prize. But of course, if he stands up at any point right here, Fulcrum's got his number, I'm pretty sure. Well, he may or may not, because there is a lot of grass between him and him.
They're just scared. Everybody is scared and unsure of what they need to do.
Yeah, so just a recap right here. I see 1, 2, 3. 3 Russians against 3 mil.
Oh, wow. Well,
no, 4.
Yeah, we got CPS on the far flank. So they've started to even it up. Yeah, American St. Marin over there doing some work.
And AR is engaging from range.
Fulcrum gives away his position.
Tries to take out Parzival. Panic shooting now.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's shooting at. Parzival ends up counter-killing Fulcrum. Gave away his position. Parzival finishes him off.
CPS on a hill by himself. Loving life. We didn't even count them, so there's 5 Russians left. Against, looks like 2 militia.
Oh, I wasn't counting somebody else, because I was counting CPS. I don't think I was counting Kirkley. I think he was above somebody.
Yeah.
So we got 5 Russians against 2 militia, one of them being Merrick and the other Sam Marin. Kirkley the furthest forward.
CPS trying to figure out why his bipod is now gone below the sunk into the actually I think he well, that's interesting. Squad is an alpha game, y'all. As he breaks the 4th wall and looks directly at the camera. That's great. Actually, I don't know. Is this the 4th wall? If a player looks at the camera, they don't know they're being shot? It's questions we'll have to answer some of the time.
Some questions don't need answers.
It's also true. We'll just say magic and get on with it.
So American Sam Marin still not moving. I believe they're the ones who have to sort of retake their position, but we'll see what the event admins decide, because right now the Russians have completed their objective, and they have to just defend, or you're going to end up having to clear the area.
Pretty sure Quirkley knows they're somewhere to his, I don't even know what compass direction is.
Southeast, I believe. Yeah. Southeast. Yeah, the Merrick and Sam Marin have been firing. That's not like they've been hidden this entire time. So Kirkley has some idea of where they are. Maybe not exactly. He might not know that they are within grenade range, but you know they're over there somewhere.
Even without the outline, you can barely see them from here, but with all the brush in the way, I wouldn't bet on it.
You want me to let my
Militia must retake radio location. So yeah, it's up to Sam Mirren and Merrick to sort of retake their radio location. And Merrick's starting to crawl.
And quickly just gave the orders to hold fast.
So just establish 360.
And here we go. They're crawling. They don't hear him yet.
Turbo's looking west.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, they have.
I think.
Yeah, they hear him.
Yep. Kirkley sees him.
195.
Oh, they're lined up.
Oh, there's Merrick goes down.
Both down.
Nope. Sam Mirren tosses a grenade.
No, he's still up.
Yep. Sam Mirren's still alive. He's bleeding though. He's bleeding. Grenade doesn't manage to take out Kirkley. He's bandaging. He might go down. He is
Kirkley
super
has
low.
no grenades on him.
And Sam Mirren goes down. Unfortunately, didn't manage to bandage in time. So the Russians take this one after a very, very close match. Again, down to 3 people, I think. No, 4 Russians up by the end of that. So great job, Silent. 5? Oh yeah. Kirkley did manage to survive. Yeah, so 5 Russians up at the end of that. So great job, all squad leads. Thank you for our POVs on the ground for helping us provide these angles. Thank you, B-Car, for being co-commentator with me. I was another commentator, Shattered Ritual. Thank you, Barton, for being the guy in the background doing all of this extra things. Thank you, event admins, for helping run this event so smoothly. If you want any more information on us, check us out, squadops.gg, and sign up for a free whitelist spot and take our basic training to participate in our ops. If you like what we do and you enjoyed what you saw, give us a follow at twitch.tv/squadops. We are also on YouTube. And I'm your commentator for this evening, Shadow Ritual, and we will catch you on Saturday for our next event. And until then, we'll see you guys later.